Blessings. Welcome. Welcome back to another episode of All Over It podcast. Yeah. Today, July 20th, 2026. We here with episode 64. If nobody knows you, nobody could buy from you. Yeah, that's the theme of today. And today we're here to talk about a brand awareness, which is very important. Check whether it's personal brand, whether it's your business brand, whatever it is, your brand. That's what people know you by. So that's our topic for today, basically. But before I get into all of that, I just gotta tell you blessings and welcome. I gotta welcome you watching here live. Anybody who catching this on the replay, don't forget all the episodes can be found on YouTube. And anything you miss, you could go back and catch. So if you had something that was said that you had liked that you want to go back and hear that again or listen to it back and take some notes or whatever, everything is available for you at your fingertips. Yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta thank you for your continual support of this podcast. Without you, there'd be no All Over It podcast. We've done. So I appreciate you. Love alone. Big up yourself one time. So as usual, feel free to leave comments. I am all eyes, all ears. And yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend if this is something that somebody that you know could benefit from. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Share the word. You know, you might know somebody that have a business or have a service that they offering that they're doing good, they're making money, but if they was to increase their brand awareness, it'll send them to the moon self. So sometimes it's just little information, just little tips to help you get over that hurdle. So that's what we're here to do. So one thing I could say, I've been thinking a lot about where this podcast is going, over the next year. And as you know, I recently celebrated a year of doing this podcast, whole year straight, consistent, every week, right here with you. So, like I say, been reflecting and really giving God thanks for that milestone and for the discipline and consistency that came with it. But like I say, reflecting and reminiscing on the year that has passed has me been thinking a lot about where this podcast is going forward. What we're going to do moving forward, moving forward. Check. And yeah, I've been working on some things behind the scenes. And I can tell you a little bit about it later in this episode. But yeah, before we get there, we need to talk about something that has affect every single business, every single person that offering a service. So yes, businesses, but understand, even if you as a individual that have a service you offering, so maybe you go at marketing or maybe you go at IT technical things and maybe people as pay you for doing troubleshooting for them, like technical support or Maybe you just do social media management for people. And yeah, maybe I have some clients. Maybe you got one or two clients under your belt, but you know that your business could grow. You know that if more people was to know what you're doing, you could really increase your revenue significantly. So that's where branding and brand awareness comes in. So we're gonna start today with what is brand awareness. So I can bring up a page and go into some definitions, but before I do that, I want to say brand awareness simply means how many people know who you are, what you do, and who you're catering to, like who your service is for, who you're helping, so your target market, if you will, you know. And of course, what makes you special? Why should they choose you? What sets you apart from the competition? So brand awareness is important. And simply put, you could have the best product. You could have the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it might not even sell. It might as well not exist. So when you have a brand, when you promoting your brand, marketing your brand, and people know, like, okay, yeah, that brand is this person. I know once I go buy that from this person, I know I getting something good. That's where brand awareness and branding yourself comes in. So to bring up some, bring up my screen and actually show you some definition. So yeah, you see, we have a nice bridge here, nice trajectory to elevate our life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So as this here says, let me actually zoom in. So a brand is the unique emotional and psychological perception a customer has about a business, product, or service. Check. So I can go through all this, but it had they have a lot of different information about what is a brand, how to build successful brand identities, videos you could watch on YouTube about what is a brand, what is branding, all these things. However, what I want to show you is this. I just want to show you this one line from this channel iMedia page. So it says, what is brand and how important is it for your business? And it says, a brand is the unique feel a product, company, or individual evokes. A brand is much more than a company's name, logo, or tagline. Good. So I'm bring back up my screen, but I just want to touch on that point. Like, think on it like this. When people think on brand or branding for your business or your personal brand, usually they think on like a logo or a specific color or maybe specific fonts and these type of different things that would relate to their company. But with a brand, you create a logo, you create all those different things so that when people see that, they could like gravitate to it. They could feel like, okay, I like this name, I like this like slogan they have. I could see that they take pride in the customer service. I could see that they take pride in how they put together their products, all these different things. think on, as I shared in a training I did. When you think on branding, think on like the household names you have in your house. Things like maybe Clorox, or I like to use Welch's. Welch's is a big brand. They have all kind of different products, juice, fruit snacks, all kind of different products Welch's have, even Ocean Spray or Florida Natural Orange Juice, or let's say Mott's Apple Juice, or even Heinz Ketchup. Like when you have a brand, when you have a strong brand identity and there's strong brand awareness behind your name, it's like when people think about that product, they automatically think on your company. So when you think on bleach, most people don't even call it bleach. They call it Clorox. But that's the name of the company. Because why? They build a brand to so big. They build a brand to such a household name that, like I say, it kind of blow all other brands out the water. So even you might go in the supermarket and you might see, let me say, other bleach brands, other bleach companies, but you pass them straight and you go straight for Clorox. Why? Because you know Clorox. And that's what a brand is. A brand is your name. A brand is people recognizing you and passing everything else to go straight to you. Because why? They trust in you and your brand. So, like I say, maybe you might be a speaker or a trainer or someone who, like I say, does marketing or some service. So not necessarily like a business per se, but you as a individual have your own personal brand behind you. Like people know you for these things. That sets you apart. When people think on anything related to that, they're gonna look for you. You become like a thought leader in that space. And that's powerful because now whenever you do anything or whenever you have anything, people will gravitate to it because they know and trust you already. So like I say, similar to these brands of whether food or household products that you could think of, is like they bring their company and their image or identity to such a level that people trust it. People know that once they have that brand name on it, they don't have to fear if they're going to get a mediocre product. They know for sure, hey, once they have that brand name on it, 2 thumbs up. Check a point. Let me say good night to Rita. Good night to DTM Maria. Blessings. Welcome. Thank you for joining. A blessed evening to you guys for sure. Yeah, good things in store for sure. And we're talking about business and branding. And like I say, branding and brand awareness isn't only specific to only business. You could have a personal brand as well. But we're coming up to that. We're going to talk about the difference between a personal and a business brand. But going back to the information, like I say, we had this line that we read through. A brand is the unique feel a product, company, or individual evokes. So it's much more than your logo, your name, your tagline, all these different things. So like I said, they have a lot of information on the internet about branding, understanding what it is, why it's important from a lot of different reputable sources. But yeah, we went through this. I'll just go through these 4 points and then we'll move on. So like I say, a brand encompasses several key components that shape how the public interacts with and views your company. So your brand identity, which is the tangible elements. So like I say, things like your logo, the color palette, so the specific colors you just use for your brand, the typography, which is like, what fonts or how your promotions look, like a specific look, or you kind of choose specific fonts and these different things, or just like packaging, like how the things that people could really see, like the tangible things from your business. Then brand perception, so how the outside world actually views your business, which is heavily influenced by customer service, advertising, and user experience. So like I say, when you have a good brand, people trust you because they know, hey, once I buy a Welch's juice, it gonna be good. Once I buy Clorox, it gonna do the job. So that's how people perceive your company, like outsiders, meaning not people within your company team, company organizational chart. So, like I say, your brand perception, think on it like this. When you give good customer service to your customers, they value that, they like that, and they're going to come back. Also, they're going to tell other people, they're going to refer you to other people. When you advertise, so let me say maybe you make social media promotions, or you go on radio, or maybe podcasts, or you do like newspaper articles, all of those other media outlets, however you choose to advertise a product, get your product out there. Maybe you have events like pop-up shops, or like one-off events, whereas people could come and get your product, interact with you and your team, and all these things. And then, yeah, of course, the experience. If people come and they don't like what they get, they ain't gonna come back. So you want to give your customers a good experience, so that, like I say, with the customer service, they're gonna want to come back. They're gonna feel good, they're gonna feel positive, and they're gonna say, yeah, man, I could see myself supporting this business. Then, yeah, your brand promise, the implicit or explicit commitments you make to your customers regarding the quality and value they can expect from you. So let me say maybe you have an agricultural business, you're selling agricultural products, maybe eggs, or maybe you growing crops or whatever. Your brand promise may be organic, locally sourced products. So like I say, your brand promise is, let me say, like the direction, the aim or goal you take for your business, that you leave your customer know, like, okay, no matter what, we're going to deliver to you in 30 minutes, like Domino's, or, whatever brand promise you could think on. So, and then lastly, brand values, the core principles that drive your company culture, messaging, and business direction. So, yeah, what your company stands for, your principles, your the policies that your company gravitate around, things like that. So, like I say, a brand is very important. Brand awareness basically means you measure how familiar the target audience is with your business, and how well they recognize or recall your products or service. So, like I mentioned, things like Bleach, Welch, all these different things, whatever company you could think on, maybe you leave a comment on what household brand comes to mind when you think on, yeah, brand, big household names, or a well-branded company. Because it could be anything. It could be in cars, Mercedes Benz, or Honda, or Toyota. Like, people know Toyota, you getting durability, you getting longevity. Mercedes Benz, Rolls Royce, okay, that's luxury. But once those names called, it's quality. Or for instance, like I said, maybe you might tell yourself, you know what? I need a new car. First thing you tell yourself, buy, maybe I should look for a Toyota. Or, like that's the idea behind brand awareness is like, okay, you selling juice, maybe you selling coconut water. How how well do people know that you providing this service? You know? So whatever it is you're doing, whether maybe you're doing car wash or maybe you're selling eggs or whatever your product or service is, brand awareness is just saying like how well do people know what you're selling. So like I said earlier in this episode, brand awareness would simply mean how many people know who you are, what you do, who you help, and why they should choose you, what sets you apart from the other people offering that service. So similarly, a lot of good information about brand awareness from different reputable sources, videos. I wouldn't go through all of this to, you know, take up too much of your time. We have a lot of good stuff to touch on. So, like I mentioned, there is a difference between a personal brand and a business brand. Whereas, like I say, another wealth of resources, but I can just read this and go to the next page that I have open on this topic. Good. So basically saying a personal brand revolves around one single person's identity, expertise, and reputation. A business brand focuses on the collective identity, products, and services of a company as an independent entity. So, independent from the individual, it's not just one person. So, think of it like this: a personal brand would be, let's say, you're known for crypto, or we say people know you as a consultant for finances, or like I said, based on your personal identity, your expertise, and your reputation. So maybe you have years of experience in the aviation field, and now you decide you're going to offer consulting services for people who want to get into the aviation field. That would be more of a personal brand because it revolves around you as an individual. Check. But you could always develop that and say, you know what, okay, I have a personal brand. I'm known for aviation expertise. But what I'm going to do is open a business and create all of those good branding identity material, your logo, your name, all those things. And then you kind of transition the brand. But basically saying you could start out as a personal brand and transition into a business brand by, opening your business and promoting like, hey, my name is Oliver and I am known for, let's say, agriculture, and I now have an agriculture business. So you could find anything from me there on that page or under that company or brand, and like I say, it's personal brand, business brand. But because of the personal identity, people would gravitate to it because people already know, like, okay, yeah, we know Oliver for agriculture. So if Oliver doing something related to agriculture, yeah, we could jump on that, type of vibe. So that's the difference. I'll still go through this article shortly, briefly about personal branding versus business branding. What's the difference? And this article is from Indeed.com. Most people know it for the job search website. So this was written by their team. But actually, on my birthday last year, woo! Anyways, I'll be honest, I didn't see that before when I read through it. I just noticed that. That's dope. Anyways, so yeah, they got all this good stuff, but I ain't gonna go through all that for you. I can just get to the point. Good. So a personal brand is an identity that represents a person. It can be beneficial for professionals who want consumers to recognize them as a leader in their field. For instance, an artist may develop a personal brand to build a fan base for their art and allow potential customers to learn more about them as people that may convince them to continue supporting their work. Check. A personal brand often includes the name of the person, emphasizes who they are and what they do, and communicates why consumers can support the person in their endeavors. Good, good. So, on that point, like I say, using myself as an example, personal brand. A lot of people now know me for agriculture. So, a lot of times people reach out to me when they have questions related to agriculture, or anytime I post anything, they gravitate towards it because they know, okay, Oliver know what he's talking about in that field. But similarly, using myself as an example, still, I also do IT and consulting work. Majority of my work experience is in the IT field, technical support and those different type of roles. And like I mentioned, I am AI certified, certified in business, different fields and categories. So when I post things, let me say maybe on my LinkedIn or my social media about, let me say, AI, or about, okay, this digital product I created or I working on, people see that and they understand, okay, well, yeah, Oliver, he is good in IT. He has worked in that field. He obviously knows what he's talking about, So similarly, like I say, like it says, a personal brand often includes the name of the perfect person, emphasizes who they are and what they do, and communicates why customers can support the person in their endeavors. So you can look for somebody that experience and know what they're talking about. So if somebody just pop up today and he said, okay, yeah, they're gonna make a video talking about AI, and be checking like who this person be. I can't listen to it. I have no idea who they be. I can't take nothing they say for a grain of salt. But then Oliver post a video about, yeah, you want to learn AI, do this. You gonna watch it because you know Oliver. Oliver got degree in computer. Oliver work in IT. So like I say, is personal, as a personal brand. Check. They even got an article about how to create a personal brand and why it's important. Good. Moving on. What is a business brand? A business brand represents a company or organization. It's a separate entity from the organizational founders and the employees who work there. Good. So understand. Then it's not like the business is Oliver, or it's not like the business is Maria. No, the business is the name of the business. So it's like you create the business so it could be its own entity, its own baby. your brainchild. Yeah. So, like it says, it uses information about the business at the forefront, which can include products or services it offers. For example, a business brand for a company that sells shoes may emphasize offering exclusive quality sneakers and delivering excellent customer service. See, customer service come back. It enables customers to create positive associations with the business they choose to support. So that's the key thing. You want that when people think on your business, when people think on you, they have a positive thought. They think positively towards you and what you do. That's the bottom line. That's where brand awareness comes in, because it's like, okay, it keeping your name and what you're doing at the forefront in people's face, so they could remember, hey, okay, you want eggs, contact Oliver. You want this, contact this person, you know? And like I say, there is a difference between personal and business brand. But let me say you start out as a personal brand. You could always say, things growing. Let me make this an actual business, and then maybe you could bring people on with you, so then it ain't just you. Like it says, the business brand is separate from the identity of the founders. It's not about that one person anymore. Now it's a team, is a group, a whole organization that working together to provide these products or services. Like I say, the idea is you just want that when people think on that type of product, they think on you. You want that, like it say, shoe store or shoe brand, shoe business. You want that, hey, you think on a Jordan, you thinking on Foot Locker or Champs or any of these souls, whatever, whichever one. That's a brand. So to that point, the next point is, why is brand awareness important? You check. Brand awareness is the foundation of the customer's journey. So understand how deep that statement is. That's a foundation. So meaning like that's where when a customer come to you, or when a customer start to interact with your brand or your company, that's where it starts. You check. They become aware of your brand. So that's where it starts. Check. It ensures your business stays top of mind when consumers are ready to buy. Check. So like I say, whether it's a shoe and you think, okay, yeah, I can go Nike, or I can go Foot Locker, I can go Finish Line, or maybe it's a car you want to buy and you tell yourself, you know what, okay, let me get myself a Honda, let me get myself a Toyota, let me get myself a Ford or a Tesla, or you know when you have brand awareness, when you have a good, strong brand identity that people know your brand well, it ensures your business stays top of the mind, so that when that consumer ready to buy, they thinking on you. So like Rita here on the call. Rita does make banana bread. Same concept. It's like now Rita make a logo. Rita been promoting and marketing, like, yeah, she does make banana bread, all kind of different flavors and varieties. So now whenever somebody think by, you know what, I could do with a nice sweet treat, man, some banana bread would be nice. They think on Rita. They think on Rita banana bread brand, and they think to themselves, okay, bye, I could do with some banana bread today now. I know the shop down the road have Rita banana bread. Let me go by the shop and buy one. Because they know Rita banana bread. They'll go in there, they'll have 10 different banana bread from different companies, but they'll pass all of those straight and go straight to Rita. Like I said, that's when you have a strong brand. That's when your brand is the top because people know that by once I take up that brand, I can get something good. It might be more expensive and all, but people will still take it because they know it good. That's the trust, that's the perceived value that comes along with your brand name. You check. So I just want you to understand the gravity, how serious it is, and how powerful a brand and your brand awareness is and can be for you and your company and what you're doing. So, like I say, I'm gonna read it again. Brand awareness is the foundation of the customer's journey. So a lot of times before they even reach to you, before they even reach to your doors or to your digital doors, brand awareness done creating that foundation because what maybe they see an ad somewhere or they see a flyer and they check it, what okay, I could get banana bread from Rita. Or like I say, maybe it's okay, Oliver in agriculture, he's selling coconut water, he's selling cane juice, he's selling eggs, he's selling cream liqueur. People going to contact you. Even sometimes, even when you're in marketing, people going to contact you and check in by, look, I need some of that product that you got here. You could organize that for me. But like I say, it's how you deal with your brand, whether personal or business. Because if people feel like they can't rely on you, if people feel like when they contact you, you don't waste the time or they can't get the product, or if people feel like, you know what? Oh my God. If people feel, sorry, I just see something there. But yeah, if people feel like by I was selling this product, but the last time I get it, it wasn't all that, they ain't gonna call you back. So you gotta be on your A game with every customer every time they come to you, especially the first time. Like the old people tell you, first impression is everything. That's facts. The first time you meet somebody, the first time a customer come through your doors, that interaction can make or break that relationship. If you deal with them good, they can come back. If you don't deal with them good, if you fall in a lot of times in any category, people ain't coming back. So all of that is part of your brand, that reputation you build that people know by, look, I could contact this person and get that product and get that service. That's what you build in, So, like I say, the foundation of the customer journey, it's important. It ensures your business stays top of the mind when the customers are ready to buy. So understand that I mean that you have to just be in the face all the time. Yes, that has helped. Of course, doing a lot of ads and a lot of marketing is helpful. That's what these big brands do. That's why when you're driving in these big countries, you see all kind of billboards for McDonald's and all these things because they're trying to stay in your face. They want that when you're hungry, you think of them and you go to their brand. You check, but like I say, you want them to have you on the top of their mind. So maybe you got a restaurant. Maybe you ain't put out no promotion or no marketing recently, but people know like, yeah, I could go to Cafe 5G. They're going to contact you, asking you about what you doing, what you have right now. You check, understand. So like I say, a good example, me with my agriculture business. We have a cream liqueur we just make, like similar to like Bailey's, Punch Cuba. Doesn't like to even call them other brands no more because I ain't promoting them brands no more. You check, understand me? To a point, I check it. I got my own brand, my own labels, my own everything. I promoting my own label, my own brand. Good, but just for context, cream liqueur. Me and my company, my family, we don't make cream liqueur. And although I don't like market it all the time, which I am working on some more consistent marketing, but although I don't market it all the time, although let me say the last time I post anything about that was like end of May. Yeah. I still just last week got contacted from a customer checking, hey, you have any other punch? What going on? The check. So yeah, they place the order, product get made, product get delivered. Like I say, it's that experience. It ain't just about the product, it's the customer service experience. They contact you, you give them a pleasant conversation, you prepare what you have to prepare for them, the order, and then you deliver. And when you deliver, you gotta deliver with a smile on your face. Don't look like a Scrooge McDuck or like a Grinch. Come in, face push up and think, no. Deal with people good and trust me, things gonna go good now. You know. Why? Go. Let me move on. Let me move on. So yeah, what is brand awareness? It's important. And like I say, I'm gonna open this ad right now from Amazon. So we know Amazon must know something about ads and brand awareness and promoting brands because it's Amazon, right? We could agree, right? Good. Brand awareness, definition, importance, strategy, examples, and how it works. So this article right here in itself is a wealth of information. Like it says, brand awareness refers to the level of familiarity customers have with a particular brand. It is measured by how well consumers can recognize the brand's logo, name, products, and other assets. An effective brand strategy defines a brand's target audience, so who you're catering to, develops a unique selling proposition, and creates a consistent brand experience across touch points. So, meaning you figure out who you're selling to. So, maybe your business is catering to people over the age of 50. Let me just say, for example, you're going to develop your ads or, like it says, your unique selling propositions, your marketing strategy around, okay, people over 50 like these type of things, then up with all these young people slangs and all these type of things. So we're gonna try to give like a feel that they would gravitate towards, and try to keep it consistent. So if today you talk about oh yeah, I fell in the tub and I can't get up, tomorrow they expect that the next ad gonna be you fall outside in the garden and you can't get up. You check. So yeah. Not that you're on a wheelchair and you get up out of the wheelchair. You check. Just yeah. Anyway, so like I say, this article tells you what is brand awareness. Brand awareness, brand recognition refers to a customer's level of familiarity with your product. Check. Yeah, all this good stuff. Why is building brand awareness important? Brand awareness helps your brand become top of the mind with potential customers when they begin to consider purchase decisions. So understand, this is so that not as soon as they want to spend the money that you there, but it's like potential customers, they already know that, okay, if they want that type of product, they could come to you, and they, even before they come to you, they start building that trust and that they build a connection with your brand before they even buy anything, so that when that time comes that they actually considering to spend the money, they going with you. They check. Okay, a good example. Take off the screen to share my story. Right now, I working on solar, and I'm telling you, this is a good example because long before I decided to work on getting this solar, before I do like my whole walkthrough and consumption breakdown and really start to work on this with suppliers and all these things, I used to see a lot of ads for this company called SunPal. Check. And I'll see ads from other solar companies as well. But one thing I could say, SunPal used to come up a lot, and it kind of like gets stuck in my head. So that when the time came that I decided, you know what, I'm going to start really diligently looking into the solar. Guess what? One of the first names that come to mind was, you tell me. I want you to tell me in the chat. I ain't even going to repeat the name again. Check. Because that's like simple, exactly what I'm saying. Perfect story and perfect example, because it's like they've been in my face long before I even decide to go down that road, to the point that they was on the top of my mind as soon as I decided, okay, yeah, I going down that road. It's like they was right there by like a checkpoint, like a toll. It's like they was the toll operator. Soon as I decided I going on that road, checking, okay, you're on this road, let me open this road for you. Like, just bam, top of the mind. They check, and that's what you want your business to be. Whether it's a business brand or your personal brand, like I say. Maybe you doing like trainings for people, and like I say, maybe you're getting gigs, maybe people calling you to do it. But if you was to increase your brand awareness, if you was to get more eyes on your brand and more eyes on what you're doing, it could elevate you probably even exponentially, So that's the point, and that's why brand awareness is important. So we're gonna get through this last page, and then I'm done with like this demonstration stuff, and then I can just give I a few final points. So like I said, it's important. It's important. Why is it important? Because it helps your brand become top of the mind with potential customers when they begin to consider purchase decisions. After all, a strong brand is important, but to grow your business, you need customers to know about it. Brand awareness is important because it helps foster trust and allows brands to tell their story and build brand equity with customers. Good. And that telling their story part is important as well. Check. So all of that is important. People gonna trust you when they know about you. It's like, you know your friends, so you trust your friends. So it's like you trying to make your business become a friend to your customer. You check, so that when they think about your that product, they think about your brand, your business, and the story is important. So I'm gonna come back to the story. Why the story is important. Let me just get through a little bit of this, and then So how does brand awareness work? Brand awareness works to help familiarize customers with a brand or product through promotions, advertising, social media, and more. A successful brand awareness campaign will work to help differentiate a brand or product from others. So you set yourself apart from your competition. You show people like, okay, maybe they got other companies in this industry, in this field, but this is why you should shop with me. This is my competitive edge, you know? Check. Good. And then, yeah, talk about marketing funnels. And yeah, they got a lot of good information that will tell you. See, how do companies increase brand awareness? How do you measure brand awareness? Brand awareness metrics, all these good things. So yeah, if this is something, I would hope this is something that you see as value. Check out that article from Amazon, Amazon ads, brand awareness. Check, why is brand awareness important? Good. So that being said, like I say, it is very important. I talk about what is brand awareness. I talk about different types of brand awareness. I even give an overview of what a brand is. Good. But now I want to talk about this myth. Then let me say like that. I want to debunk this myth of brand awareness isn't only for big companies. It's actually the opposite. Brand awareness is how small companies become big companies. You check? Like that's a Oliver, yeah, a Oliver interpretation there. You check? Yeah. But like I say, there's a big misconception that people feel like only big companies just try to promote their brand, need to do brand awareness, need to, have a good brand identity and all these type of different things. You check? But any business, all of us, even if we only have one customer, even if we only have one product, even if we're only making $10 a month, you could build your business to $10,000 a month once you promote and market your business right, and you get customers through the door that are willing to pay, that like converting customers, not just leads, not just eyes, but people are converting. You check? And yeah, like I say, for example, you could be a restaurant, you could be a barber shop, a plumber, an electrician, a farmer. You check? A mechanic, a consultant, a speaker, a tutor, a home baker. You could have an online store, whatever it is. Everyone have a brand. You check? Even if you selling, let me say like merch, like branded shirts, or maybe you're making designs for shirts and different paraphernalia. All of that is a brand. People know, okay, Susie making different type of merch, whether it's mugs or hats or tumbler cups with different maybe motivational phrases or inspirations and affirmations, whatever to be. Everything is a brand. Some people just simply haven't developed it as yet, at least not intentionally. Maybe it get developed, but like people know them for that brand, but they didn't even have no intention to be known in that atmosphere, in that realm, but yeah, things happen, so whether you realize it or not, people already have an opinion about your business, and that's your brand. So you want that opinion is a positive one. You want that when people think on your business, think on your brand, it's a positive thought, and that they feel positive towards what you're doing and what you bring into the market. So yeah, like I say, brand awareness isn't only for big companies. Check. So why visibility creates, yeah, opportunity. Now, think on it like this. If you selling a product for $10 and you got one customer, maybe they only come in, let me say, once a week, just for reasonable. $10 once a week, that's $40 for the month. You check. What if you had 10 customers instead of one? You check. So now instead of $10, you're making $100. Now, if you had 100 customers, and understand, maybe not every customer, not everybody that come and put eyes on your business or your brand might shop. Understand that. So I guess that's a misconception that I want people to understand too. Some people, they just get like upset when some people maybe come check out their products but they don't buy. But all of that is part of it. Like, not everybody gonna come and shop. You check, you gotta look for your tribe, for your group, for your pool to swim in. Yeah, you gotta look for those people that when they see your product, they're checking, wow, you doing this? I like what you're doing, man. I could support this. Not people who shaky, iffy, they know what they want to do. Maybe they in and they out, You want people that when they come to your door, hey, look, I need that. Let me get that. Hold your money for your product. Check. So, like I say, visibility creates opportunity. The more people that have eyes on your product, the better. There's more leads. There's more possibility of converting people from just a potential or a bystander onlooker to an actual customer. You check? So more visibility can lead to more conversations, meaning more people coming asking you about these products and what you're doing. More inquiries. So yeah, conversations, but questions are the same. More referrals. So now that you got more visibility, people now able to share with a friend or tell somebody else, because let me say maybe you make a flyer and now your customer could share that with their friend or family member. They could say, hey, look, I just support this business and look, they got this going on. Check them out. More visibility helps you no matter what. So like I say, more visibility can lead to more conversations, more inquiries, more referrals, but all in all, more customers and more sales. That's what we want, right? We start a business to make revenue, right? Create income, right? So more customers mean more money. And when I say this, I mean more like customers that, like really, how to say, like they tell you they got good money and bad money. You want good customers that really like gravitate and really connect with your brand, that ain't gonna give you a hard time, no problem. They got some of those customers that buy the gear run around. But I'm sure we could agree on that. But yeah, so you want that, the visibility. So like I say, maybe you have a business, but you don't really doing no type of marketing. Maybe you have a social media page, but you weren't so consistent, you haven't really been posting and so on. Like I said, that visibility of maybe you just put together a post, maybe you put together a nice little picture or flyer with what you're selling and what you're offering, and you post it on the page or on your profile, And now people know, hey, yeah, I could get this from this person. Or maybe people that don't know about you and what you're doing could say, okay, I didn't know this person selling that or offering that. I could check them out for that, man. I know them, so I could trust that they know what they're doing and they know what they're talking about in that field. So yeah, I can tell you, powerful, powerful, powerful. And this is why brand awareness, understand how these things connect and mesh together. I say brand awareness, visibility. You gotta be visible to be made aware. Check, yeah. So these things are important, and visibility could really help you create more opportunity. Cause like I say, maybe you got your business, and yeah, maybe you're making some money, but having more eyes on your product, having more people know, like, okay, yeah, you offering this could help get you from here to here. Or it could, like I said, just help you get over a hurdle that you're in right now. Maybe things difficult, funds tight, cost of living gone up in all kind of different ways, and you're checking, okay, you got your little side hustle and it bringing in some money, but it could do better. Brand awareness could help, you know. Like I say, maybe you do some promotions, put together some stuff, and that could bring more people through the door for you. You check. So on that point, let me give you some practical ways to build your brand awareness. You check, because like I say, marketing gets people through the door, but quality keeps them coming back. Check. So we gotta market it. And there's some ways how you can market it. So let me say online, you have a wealth of ways and resources and things you could do. Whether social media, you could do reels, you could do shorts, whether on Facebook, whether on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Everybody on TikTok now, but they got so much platforms. We got so much options that, to be totally honest to you, as I just see it sometimes, that is a problem. You got so much things you could do that is like a brain overload, like just overstimulation. It'll be like, okay, nah, what to do, where to start. But like I say, we don't have to complicate things. Social media is a great avenue to build your brand and to increase your brand awareness, because first of all, it's free for the most part, unless you boost in and you paid ads and those things. But yeah, social media basically is free. That's number one. And number two, you're already using social media. You already have like your friends and family, like people close to you already connected to you on your social media. So now that gave you like a jump. That gave you like a push when you start your business, because now when you start your business, you start promoting, hey, you're doing this, whether it be you create a page for it or you just promote it on your own profile. Your people around you gonna be the first, rightfully, they should be the first people you try to get on your team or on your customer list. You know, people that know you because they know what you're about. You check. But yeah, simply put, you got social media, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Instagram, maybe Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, start posting something, make a little video, say, hey, yeah, I just do these apps, or yeah, working on this platform, or yeah, I have this product I sell, so maybe you build chairs. You check. Maybe a day you set up a camera, set up your phone, and record what you're doing and post a video. Leave people know what you're doing. Visibility. You check? So, like I say, social media is a great opportunity for us to get our brand out there, for us to build our brand awareness, because it's free. First of all, thing like most of these other previous like popular media outlets, it's free, and you already have like people on it that's connected to you. So it's like you already have a start, you know? So starting with social media, I would say my recommendation to you, that's a good starting point. Check. Apart from online sources, you have offline sources. So, like I say, flyers, you could create like digital flyers on social media, but you also could create actual like flyers, like physical cards, like when you see people handing out like the flyers, whether on the side of the road or by the store or different places, So offline flyers, you got business cards, you got community events, maybe trade shows, markets, expos, just networking with people. So maybe you, like I say, maybe you as a consultant in a field, and you tell yourself, you know what, let me increase my brand awareness. Maybe you'll go on LinkedIn and search for people who in your field too, and just reach out to them, or maybe look for companies that deal with things in your industry and reach out to them. All of that is building relationships, in networking, you building that visibility. Like I say, people getting to know you and know that, okay, yeah, you doing this. So if they need it, they could reach out to you, you know? Networking. Up to today, I was networking. I was on a call, and I tell people, look, for you over there in our country, checking, you know anybody that need consulting services or these services, let me know. All that's networking. You check, because now when that person in their country and somebody bring up that topic, you can say, hey, yeah, I know Oliver. You check? Simple as a conversation. Just let people know, hey, look, I offering this service now. So networking, conversing, that'll be powerful. Talk to the right people, find yourself in the right rooms with the right group of people for you to elevate yourself. So yeah, relationship marketing. So things like referrals, word of mouth, testimonials, partnerships, all these things does help get you out there. So like I say, referrals, you have customers that referring your business to other customers. So your customers, they enjoy the experience working with you so much that they was willing to go and call up the auntie, the uncle, the friend, the acquaintance and all that they don't talk to for months, and say, hey, look, you need to call this man for this service. Take this number, check this page. Referral, word of mouth. That's word of mouth too, because it's your customers speaking to other people on your behalf. Or like I say, just word of mouth is just speaking, like instead of like using any of these other media outlets. And then yeah, testimonials, like whether it be written, think on like a lot of companies nowadays, they just do like they'll post like customer feedback, or let me say, even I see people, they have the small business, and when people like reply to them in maybe WhatsApp or whatever, they like screenshot it and post it on the page to show like, yeah, people buy in and they like it. So all of that to help people feel confident and comfortable with spending money with you, because it's like, okay, other people spending money and they getting a good the experience. So I feel more confident that I would get a good experience as well, you know? So yeah, like I say, relationship marketing, partnerships was the last one. So maybe you, I'll use myself as an example. Farmer in the agricultural industry, partnerships would be partnering with other farmers. So collaborating with other local farmers and maybe collaborating with like businesses locally that does deal with like things around the agricultural industry. All these things is things that could help propel you. Check. And then yeah, authority marketing. So whether you're teaching, maybe you're speaking somewhere, maybe you're doing podcasts, workshops, educational content, all of that is different pathways or different avenues that you could use to build your brand. You check to build the awareness around your brand. So like I say, maybe you're a speaker, maybe you're a tutor, maybe you just do like speaking and keynote speaking and MC gigs and things like that. People know you could talk, people know you could communicate well, but maybe you want to get more gigs like that, but they ain't coming in. You could use these avenues to build yourself, get yourself out there, get your name known so that people could contact you when they need that service. So like I say, whether it be you go, you speak at like an event, maybe some organization have an event and they need a speaker and you volunteer. Maybe that one is for free, but then because you go do that one, people now know, okay, when I need a speaker, I could call that person. And the next time opportunity come, they call on you. Check. So basically saying the more value you share, the more people begin to trust you. And that is important when it comes to business. People only spend money with businesses they trust. Businesses are individuals they trust. You don't give nobody no money and you don't believe they're gonna give you what they say they're gonna give you. Like literally, think on any situation that you had to spend money for a product or a service. If you had any feeling in your mind like, why I don't feel like I could trust this person now, you're gonna spend that money. Like if you buying, let me say maybe you need a plumber and you contact somebody, but then when they come, you checking by, I don't think you qualified for this. You ain't gonna take them, you ain't gonna give them the job because you're gonna be checking by, no, I don't trust you for this job. So it's the same thing. You gotta build that trust too. You gotta let people know, like, hey, okay, I know I could rely on this person once I call them for this product or service. Whether it be a product that they gotta bring for me or they gotta ship to me or whatever it is, or if it's a service that they gotta do for me, that they got to meet with me or do it online, whatever it is. People want to know that they could trust you. And you do that by building your brand awareness. You check? So the more value you share, the more value people build around you, meaning people trust you more. People value you and your contributions in that field to the point that they're willing to spend. Check. So I mentioned podcasts in those practical ways, and I want to touch on that one. So why podcasts are powerful for brands. And no, this is not biased because we here on a podcast. It's just real talk. Like keeping it real with our y'all always. But yeah, of course, we on a podcast. Why you think all about the podcast? It just makes sense. Check. So a podcast, unlike a quick advertisement, allows people to hear your story, allows people to understand your journey, and it allows them to learn your expertise and connect with you personally. You check? So, like I just said, people buy from people they trust. So if people feel like they could trust you, they would be open to spending with you or spending on you, on your service or your product. But so, like I say, a quick advertisement is good. You could, like I say, do a flyer, promote your product, have little caption or description talking about your product and what you're offering, what you're doing, and so on. But like I say, podcasts are very powerful for brands. Think on it this way. In this day and age we living in, podcasts are like the new show. Like people watch podcasts just like how they used to watch TV back in the days, you know? And they have a lot of people that have podcasts that they like trust and listen to faithfully. Every time an episode come out, they on it. Whether it be entertainment, whether it be education, podcasts have become like the new norm. They have become very popular. You check? Why? Like I say, different people have different reasons and different like ideas behind it. Like I say, whether it be for entertainment purposes, they got a lot of podcasts for entertainment where people just on there talking nonsense, talking crap, just spewing words out their mouth, just like for fun and kicks, for joke, you know. But like they have educational podcasts as well, whereas people doing the podcast to like teach you something or show you the truth about something, show you about something you may not be familiar with. You check? And like I say, people buy from people they trust. And podcasts accelerate trust. Because like I say, people get to feel connected to you personally, you know? So even if it's not a personal brand, but let me say maybe it's a business brand, but now maybe the business owner or part of the management team do a interview on a podcast about the business. People connect. The viewers, the customers, potential customers, they form a connection with that person, that person's story, but also with the business. Just by hearing the story and hearing like the reasoning behind the business or the aim or the goal of the business, people gravitate towards that and people form a connection around that by just hearing your story and understanding your journey. You check? So a lot of times your brand story, that in itself make people just fall in love with the business, not even the product. Some people, they don't even buy the products. They just support. Why? Because after they hear what where the business come from, what the meaning, the reasoning behind the business is, they just fall in love with that and they check and buy. Look, I support that. You check. So yeah, like I say, podcast is very powerful. Podcast can really accelerate the trust because it's not just a flyer or a product menu or it's not just soliciting money. It's not just you trying to tell them buy this, pay for that. No, they get to like really see who you are and what you stand for and what is business stand for, and that's why a podcast is very powerful for brands. So you will be surprised. You might have a business and maybe you're not so active on social media. Maybe you don't do so much marketing and thing, but then you go and you do an interview on a podcast and you share it. People see like, okay, you was on a podcast. They go watch it. They get to know, okay, I didn't even know that this person was doing this service, and as they listen to the podcast and they get to hear about your story and why you decided to take that journey or start that business, they start to resonate with it and relate, and they say to themselves, you know what? I like this. And like I say, maybe you do your podcast interview, and then after that, you get like clips from it and you start posting clips from it. So now you reach getting farther and farther. So now maybe before you do that interview, you had 2 customers, but now you got 50. Why? Because people see that podcast episode and they check in, what? Okay, I like this service. I like where this guy's head is at, guy or girl. I like what they about and what they stand for and the reason behind this business. I could support that. Like I say, people buy from people they trust. Check. So people don't only buy products, they buy people, the stories and the confidence behind it. So like I say, it got the actual value of the product, but then it got perceived value. And that's why brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all these things could charge thousands of dollars for the product that costs like tens of, you know? Yeah. Because why? The brand. The brand got such a powerful name that whatever price they slap on that, people pay for it. Like I remember, like I just said that word this segue, word this tangent. I remember a few years ago, I want to say after COVID, so probably 2021, 2022. So Balenciaga had come out with a product. I remember this like yesterday. I literally could see it in my head while I telling you this. Balenciaga come out with some shoes that literally was like some old beat up canvas. Like literally the canvas was like white and brown, like looking stained up and dirty. Literally had holes, like it was ripped in certain places. It had holes in certain places. Literally looked like old bum shoes. Like God is my witness. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Like, man, it's so serious. It's worth me looking for it while I talking about it. But tell me why Balenciaga had these shoes and they selling it for 1,300 something going on 1,004. And I checking like, you got to be joking. Like, people actually buying that? I gotta find that. I gotta find Ha! Find it. Ha! Find it. Bye, my people. Watch out. Watch out, watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Tell me why. Balenciaga. Oh, sorry, you see? I even had the price wrong. Balenciaga's 1,850. So I say 1,300, 1,400, but it's actually 1,850 for some Balenciaga old beat up canvas. Come on. I remember I see that, right? And I checking like, yo, you got to be joking. These people really selling these shoes like that. But I bet you people buy them. Or even they had the red, you see the red boots. Yeah, these ones. These big shoe Balenciaga boots. When I see them come out, I check in, who the hell going to buy that? But people well rocking them. People well buy them and was rocking them. You check, not none of these. These look normal. You check these ones here that look like Mario tubes that you gotta jump in. You check these ones here. Imagine people buying that, probably spending $2,000 on that too. But why? The brand. The brand. People trust the brand, so no matter what they come up with, people buy in. Hey, that's when you know. Like I just say, I on a mission to get my agriculture business as a household name, just like Welch's, just like all these other brands that you're accustomed to. When you hear the name Ocean Spray, you know for sure you getting cranberry juice. Okay, yeah, they don't only do cranberry juice now, but what they known for? Cranberry juice. When you think of cranberry juice, you think of Ocean Spray. You'll go in the shop and see other brands. Maybe you'll see Dole or other things, but you'll pass them straight because there's not Ocean Spray. Ocean Spray probably could charge whatever and people would pay it. But what? Similar to, like I say, the story. When you buy a bottle of Ocean Spray and you turn it around, they tell you Ocean Spray is a cooperative of over 100 different farmers farming cranberries alone. Same for Florida Natural Orange Juice. When you hear the Florida Natural Orange Juice advertisements, they tell you Florida Natural Orange Juice is a cooperative of Florida farmers that only grow in oranges specifically. One crop. Just for you to get your orange juice. So they check in, they leave you know, hey, it ain't just one man doing it. It's a group of us. And this is all we doing. So we know about this. And trust and believe we got a lot. So we could supply your needs. You know, so it's as your brand, it's how you promote yourself, what you bring about, what you promote, how you market yourself. Check. So yeah. Like I say, a podcast could be very, very helpful with getting your brand out there, getting people to know what you're doing, who you're being, what you're about. You know? So on that point, I'll talk about my reflections after one full year of podcasting and more, because I reached to a full year at 52. We are on 64 now. So yeah, like I say, been reflecting and I'm going to share some things I've been working on, but trust me, I'm gonna keep it brief because I don't see the time. But like I was saying in the beginning of this episode, I been thinking about how far I've come in this podcast. Over a year on this podcast. over 63 episodes. Today is 64. I reflect and I commend myself. I pat myself on the back. I give myself props. I give myself ratings. I'm proud of myself to say that I stayed disciplined. I stayed consistent for a whole year and counting. Every Monday, right here with you. Every Monday, faithfully, consistently, through it all. Whether I had to travel, whether it be by I got things going on in life that I got to deal with, I still made sure I was present. Even with what happened with my father. You check, traveling to Colombia with he for weeks, not just, a week or a couple days and come back. Traveling to Colombia with he, then come back here, pass. Dealing with that. Literally the day he passed, I had an episode. You check, I check him by. I made a commitment and I staying disciplined. I staying consistent. And I know he used to love the podcast. And that episode for sure he would have loved. You check. But yeah, despite all the ups and downs, the roller coaster, the issues, the change of platform, all kind of different things, we still stay steadfast and we stay standing firm. And we here still 64 episodes and counting. Yeah, so like I say, I reflected on the year that has passed and, just had to recognize and give myself props and give myself, a little respect and pride. Yeah. Appreciate that self, Rita. Yeah, real talk. I appreciate that. But real talk, with that reflection and that recognition of how far I've come, I was thinking about, what's next for the All Over It podcast. Yeah, of course, we can still have episodes. Yeah, of course, I can still come bring good content, good value to all you. But it's like, yeah, what's next? You do interviews, you do demonstration, you show Google Earth, you show websites, you show AI working, all kind of things. So what's next? And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I can do some things to add value to this podcast. And I got some things working on, a little blog post for every week, every episode, like a little summary and those things, different things. I was saying, if anything, I'll start doing some merch too, maybe do like some shirts, some hat designs, and just start promoting that. Understand? And to say like, yeah, I got to buy the shirts and have them on hand and sell them to you. No, they got ways that you could just create the design, and then when you order it, it get made for you. Good. So good. So yeah, been thinking about merch, whether shirts, hats, maybe mugs, whatever. But I was thinking I could do some monetization on this podcast. Now, granted, when I started this podcast, I didn't have no intention of making money. This was nothing to do with money. Like, I did not have no intention to really generate any revenue or income from doing this podcast. You check? Now, granted, I know that like let me say you could get sponsors and thing, so let me say maybe certain company or brands might sponsor me to like do little shout outs, so they'll give me whether equipment or some change to help the cause. And all I would have to do is like shout them out. Check. So they have all of those different opportunities. But like I say, when I started this, I just wanted an outlet. I realized that I would have some deep conversations with people about some great topics, whether it be one to one or like in group settings. And I would always feel like, why these conversations should go farther. These conversations shouldn't just end here, and I found myself saying, "Bye, I need an outlet." And I even had thoughts about seeing how I could join other things, but I'm glad I decided to do my own thing. Let me say like that. I'm glad that I decided to create my own outlet and create my own podcast and, yeah, do my own thing. That's all about for you in a nutshell. You check. So for sure, when I started this out, like I say, it wasn't about money. It still ain't about money. It's about adding value, about sharing the knowledge, about elevating you. You check? Helping you see all that is out there at our fingertips. You check? So like I say, it ain't about money up to now. But I was thinking I should start to try to bring in some change. I put a lot of hours into this. Yeah. So I was saying to myself that something I've been working on is I've been considering opening the podcast to entrepreneurs and professionals, creators, organizations, just not just for interviews, but to help them tell their story, showcase their expertise, increase their visibility, and create reusable promotional content. Check. So basically, it'll be, you come on, you get interviewed on a long form. So on the live, you get interviewed, and then you also get clips that you could use as reels and shorts on your social media, just social media content, things that you could share and increase your viewership and knowledge about what you're doing, because you stay there. One conversation could become content for weeks, so for sure, if I have to say who could this help, it would be very helpful for small business owners, consultants, speakers, coaches, nonprofits, restaurants, startups, farmers, check, creators, service providers. Basically, if people need to know who you are, visibility matters. You check. If you're doing something that you need people to know what you're doing, there's a need for visibility. So that would be people who are catering to in that regard. You check. But yeah, like I say, I just check in like, you know what? We reach a long way and we have a lot of opportunity out of this podcast. You know, it has been it has been great so far, and just trying to see how we could elevate it. So for you, the viewer, that ain't really changing nothing. You can still be able to come on, see what's going on, and hear people's stories. But now, yeah, if you watching and you are a business owner or you have some service you providing and you want a little more visibility or a little more visibility, reach out. Yeah, reach out because we uncovering it all right here on the All Over It podcast. Check. So that's my CTA to you. If you know you could do with some more marketing, some more promotion, if you know you got a story behind your service or your product, reach out. Trust and believe. You'll be happy you did. The transformational value that going to come with that is amazing. So reach out, check your boy. Yeah. But yeah, if I gotta bring everything to a close, so I always believe that good work deserves to be seen. And that's why I like to take videos and show what I doing or encourage people to show what they are doing, you know? So if I gotta encourage you right now, I'll encourage you, don't hide your gifts. Also, don't assume people automatically know what you do, you know? So my recommendation, tell your story, show your work, and stay consistent because you're going to build trust and people will reach out because opportunity often comes from people simply because they became aware that you existed. Sure. So probably they need the service, but they didn't even know that you're doing it. So now that they know, okay, I could reach out to you. Simple as that. Check, build that trust, and you'll be surprised once you stay consistent that day will come. Like Capleton tell you. You check. But yeah, so like I say, brand awareness is important. And I put together this episode today to show you why it's important. I talk about what a brand is, was a personal versus a business brand. I touch a lot about brand awareness. But to be straight up with you, all of that is to say why podcasts can help you increase your brand reach and grow your followership and your customer base and in turn your sales and revenue. Check. So like I keep telling you, if nobody don't know what you do, you're making it harder for the opportunities to find you. Visibility creates opportunity. So keep building, keep growing, and continue to execute with excellence. So blessings, my people. It's love alone. I always appreciate you. I really appreciate you for taking the time. Check. All I could do is give you thanks. You check because you don't have to. So it's appreciated. And yeah, thank you for the continued support. Like I say, it's been over a year, and trust and believe we're going to elevate. We ain't going down, we going up. We ain't staying stagnant, we ain't staying on a plateau, ain't just okay, yeah, we reach a year and now it's like boring. Nah, never that. We moving on up to the east side, ironically on the east side itself. Just like the Jeffersons. Yeah. So, but yeah, I have to always give you thanks for your continued support of this podcast. Trust and believe it doesn't go unnoticed. I thank you. And like every week faithfully we here to the point people know that's the brand. People know the brand. People know by look Monday. Can't really get a lot out like that now, especially not 7 o'clock in the night. Don't call him Monday night. Don't call Alaba because he's on the podcast. You check. Similarly, like I say, okay, on my social media, I share different videos and information about agriculture and like things I do and all these different things. And now, man, people look at me like agriculture man, farmer man, like to the point I just actually be thinking to myself, like, why I think people just forget that I actually like IT as well. Like, yeah. It's like at this point in time, it's like once people think agriculture, they think Alaba. But like I say, it's that's a brand now, the personal brand that get built, which a business brand built around it as well. You check. But like I say, it wasn't nothing complicated. I just show what I was doing. And truthfully, I got so much to show. Let me say like that. Like I got about 4 videos. I just finished like editing them and I gotta like schedule when I'm gonna post them so that they could come on social media because higher lord. Higher lord. Just content. Yeah. So it ain't hard. It ain't hard. I gotta like sometimes depending on how deep you go, it could be a little tedious, but trust me, it ain't hard. You make a little video. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be fancy. Like you can make a little video checking by yeah, doing this now. Post it. You're gonna be checking like, wow, okay. I didn't know you could weld. I didn't know you're a plumber. I didn't know you're a carpenter. And then guess what? When you need that type of work, who they gonna call? Not Ghostbusters. You. Yeah. Check. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. We doing things. We elevating. I come to share this knowledge with you, and I hope that after hearing all of what I share today, that you feel more inclined to think about yourself as a business. Think about your business as more than what it is now. You check? Think about how could you elevate your business. Yeah, these are thoughts. And we're just trying to help you elevate now. That's all. That's all this podcast is about. Giving you the motivation and inspiration to do the things that you want to do, that you know you can do, but that you maybe has been denying yourself of or holding yourself back from. Check. So yeah, my people, it's blessings and love. This has been another episode of All Over It podcast. I wrapping up, so don't tell me, yeah, but all over you cut off. So yeah, I wrapping up. Yeah, today was episode 64. If nobody knows you, nobody can buy from you. And I gave you some good examples, some good stories, I gave you some value here today. I dropped some gems here with you today. Yeah, give some diamond self tonight. Go build a ring. Yeah. You check? But yeah, man. Big up yourself, my people. Love alone. I wish you all blessings and prosperity, especially for the week ahead. I hope you have a productive week ahead. We check. Remember, we too blessed to be stressed. Although the devil busy, we could always overcome he because he's like a little squishy cockroach under we shoe. We can always walk over he. Check. Remember, even though he might send some fiery darts, we have the shield to protect ourselves. God gave us the armor to protect ourselves and withstand all them wiles of the enemy. So guess what? All we gotta do is stand steadfast, stand firm when those battles come, whether internal or external. Most of the time it'll be internal. All of that is the battles we gotta fight now. Like I just say, the mind is a battlefield. Gotta be strong to stand firm. But like I say, it ain't only inside. Sometimes devil will poke other people to come and tempt you and bring you down. But guess what? God always there with us. He never forsaken us. And no matter what adversity we facing, we can see ourselves through it because he never forsaken us. He always there with us. Check. So on that note, my people, is love now. Love you. You, it's my family. Lot of that. Yeah, we one people. Check. So love alone. And like I say, I wish you a blessed, prosperous, productive week ahead. And as you know for sure, for a fact, next week, be right here with it. You check. So all I can say is love alone. Blessings and have a good rest of the evening. Sleep well. Catch you here next week for another episode of All Over It Podcast. We are covering it all right here. You know it. Yeah. It all not